Estoy less scuffed gamer. I finally know what my next video is going to be, so I'm going to be working on that. And hopefully I won't be making another one of these soon. So yeah, I was gonna rant about the Roblox game I've been working on. However, I decided that instead I should complain about Steam's recording feature. Because the gameplay you're looking at is something I decided to record beforehand and then put audio on top of to make it less bad like my other videos like this. And so because I run Linux on a crappy laptop, OBS doesn't exactly record great, which is evident if you pay close attention to the video background footage I use in my other videos. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have Steam open anyway, I might as well run that and put a bit less strain on my laptop. So I did all of that, and then I decided, now let me export this video. And then after going through a few menus, I found out where it shows all of my recordings. And it would not let me export it. So then I had to look it up. Well, I have to use this weird workaround to make a clip, except it's a 30-minute video. And then export it that way. So I did that. And it took so long. And if that's the price I need to pay for a decent recording without putting a ton of strain on my laptop, fine, except, God, that whole process took me like 2 hours. I could have just made this video the same garbage quality as my other ones in that same time. And so yeah, anyway. That was a odyssey I had to go on. But with that knowledge, I can now keep that in mind when I'm making my next videos, which are going to be about actual games and not Roblox games. Because I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to be autistic. I'm going to have a hyperfixation for the next 2 weeks, which I have another one queued up because I plan on recording it after the Phoenix Wright trilogy gets that new update that adds chapter select and Spanish, and I'm probably going to replay the game in Spanish because I finally got around to playing Apollo Justice. And God, that game is so amazing. And I want to compare it to the original Phoenix Wright trilogy and like all the things that it learns from it, all the things it does better, all the things it changes up to make it its own unique thing. And oh my... And I have no one to talk to about it. I need more friends. But before that, I'm going to be working on a different video on a different video game series that I like. It shouldn't take that long to make. I'll definitely be able to meet the 2-week deadline I set for myself and not have to make one of these in between. But if something somehow messes up along the way, I have 2 weeks to do it. I'll be fine. Hopefully. Aside from that, I've been working on my Roblox game. It baffles me how somehow when I give the game a goal, it suddenly becomes so much less fun. Because before, it was just make a number to go up. And that was boring, I'll be honest, at least in my opinion, except for some reason the people I gave to play tested, my friends when I gave them this version just to make sure there were no bugs, they were so into it. I don't know how. And somehow after I make all of this other stuff, it's just less fun somehow. And so this is the weird thing about game design that I don't like, which is this kind of stuff where how did this become not fun? And so I am using spreadsheets for the first time, like actually using spreadsheets to figure out, okay, this and this should take at most like 2 minutes to do. And so I have to crunch the numbers to figure out, okay, here's how I make the gap between these two things at most 2 minutes. Well, like at least like a minute and at most like 5 minutes. And it's to quote Gabe Newell, one of my favorite quotes from him, from the Half-Life documentary.
And I've never thought to myself that realism is fun. I go play games to have fun. And so we had to come up with some notion of what fun was. We knew it was an ad hoc definition, and it was the degrees to which the game recognizes and responded to the player's choices and actions, right? You have to have this sense of the game acknowledging and responding to the choices and actions and progressions that you've made. Otherwise, it loses any sort of impact.
And unfortunately, that's not the only important thing, which is annoying. If only making games was easy, and making videos was easy. That's about all I have for now. Hopefully, real video next time I upload. And if not, put me in a Freedom t-shirt.
Yo, I was sucking dick.